Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Live broadcast of the Zwift Racing League presented by WTRL. We are out on the Innsbruck ring in Innsbruck, the World Championships course of what year was that, Dave? You'd know better than I. Is it
That was
2018 or
that was
19?
2017.
17, man. Wow.
18, excuse
Okay,
me.
thank
The
you.
year
All right.
before Yorkshire.
I got it the right one. I was right the first time. All right,
Good
that's
for
what it
you.
was. And we got the leg snapper, new KOM. We got the sprint point right afterwards. It's America's East Women A category, and this is turning out to be not just a rivalry between Virginia's Blue Ridge 2024 and Riot, but we've got all kinds of teams. ATP Racing. We've got OTR Cinderellas. We've got Absolute Finesse, and we've got the new upstarts that have been showing that they are a force to be reckoned with, which is Optimum out of Canada. Dave, it's been really exciting so far.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you were able to hone in on this group of women. This is my favorite hour of the week as we make our way into the middle part of the season. But yeah, buckle up. This is going to be an incredible race here. The leg snapper on its own, it's not a feature that really sends a shiver down your spine until you race it with a group like this and you hit this. We watched some amazing racing earlier in the day on this course. Now, segment battle points won't be in play today, so we're going to go back to the original format again. We've kind of gone back and forth on that. So today it's going to be straight ahead racing. Watch for fastest through segments first across the line. And Nathan, it really does just turn into a frenetic affair. By the time they get 5K into this race, you just feel that energy shift. And these women always put on a show.
They really do. The ladies have gotten out on course. They are crossing the bridge, actually, section right now. That is one of the false flats that we'll be able to watch them on. We do have a couple of rider cams. Big thank you to those that did jump on in for us and are going to be providing those for us. We do got Anna Russell, no other than one of the team leaders over at Team Riot, that is on the right-hand side of the screen there as they're about to take this on. As you can see, going to be I think, a very tactical race, you think, Dave, as far as the way that they're going to attack this up front? I mean, what we saw in the women's race out of Europe this afternoon, I thought was a little bit, looking at the Innsbruck, the leg snapper, the sprint, and then look at each other. The leg snapper, the sprint, watch each other. There are a couple of roll-through attacks, but I felt like the men's race was a little bit more aggressive on the quote-unquote calmer sections of the course, the section that didn't have as much to play with. What do you think we'll see from the East here? Will it see something similar, or are these ladies going to be attacking left, right, and center?
Somewhere in between, I think, Nathan, to tell you the truth. You make a great point, and I actually think the moment that we really arrived with esports racing, when things got so tactical, it was almost exactly like in real life racing. Once everybody in that front group looked around and realized how much talent there was, and they didn't want to waste their resources for no reason, and all of a sudden the group that was behind, we saw it happen at least 3 times where large groups chased back into the peloton, and in times including significant featured riders in the race, and ultimately that is as tactical as it gets. Now I'm expecting Jackie Godby, Dr. Godby, is racing with us tonight here. I see her listed as Sarah Snowpins, which reminds me of how far we've come, as that was the original name before Riot became Riot. It was, we don't even need to go into those. It was nothing negative. It was just an offshoot of their success, actually, as so many women in that program. They had to split basically into 2 different A squads. So now, when you look at it, Kristen Kulchinski, the rider that Nathan has squared up for us now, comes in as rightfully a big favorite. That's Kristen racing there in Long Island, where she calls home. Kristen, one of the most celebrated, well-known, and I would have to say just a great spirit of esports racing. She and Jackie Godby are going to make this very tough, Nathan. I mean, let's watch what's happening right now. This is very early in the race. It's going to be 35 kilometers of racing, and my heart goes out to everybody involved. We'll be back with it in just a moment. I know Nathan is going to track down exactly what's happening, because I would think that Kulchinski and Godby will take that group down. So again, we're in cam live with Kristen Kulchinski here. When we go back and pick up the action, I wouldn't be too surprised to see that there's less than 20 riders in contact. Now, I would think that some of them will come back together, but these are a couple of the core members of, or a few of the core members of the U.S. national team heading into the World Championships, as we're only about a month away So this front group that will be coming together here. And I apologize. We've had a tough day with technicals, but one thing's for sure, you can see there what it's like in real life for Kristen Kulchinski. She's known to have a relatively slow cadence, although I think that might be changing a little bit as she really has matured as a racer. Kristen came into this, I would say, as a fitness fanatic. Really did some amazing things. Just riding her bike basically, and then found the sport. And it was really interesting to watch that process. It was a steep learning curve, but she's become an esports expert. There's no doubt about it. And it's interesting to watch that path as well. It was challenging to become a high-level esports racer. You have to go through learning how to double verify and all of the things. And it requires a real commitment from our athletes. She caught the eye of Nikki Cranmer. Going back
quickly, I just don't know. I'm going to just give people, I'm just want transparency completely. Never seen before. I have no idea what's happening currently with the ability to get the riders on screen. I've been doing this for quite a long time and working on it, just so everybody knows.
You want to try to reset, Nathan? I totally get it. I understand. I was just trying to cover for you there while
all the resets are definitely happening, so.
Great. Thanks, man. I know you're working hard on it. You always do. You're absolutely amazing. So yeah, until I have more information, we'll just keep plugging along here. Nathan will be working hard. It actually, one of the things, like Michael Jordan, you don't realize how impressive it is what Nathan does until you see how incredibly complex what he's managing with the production of this is. And yeah. So, Kristen, it's been so fun to watch her become one of the top esports riders. It's truly dedication that she's been going through. I'm wondering now. It looks like, the thing with Kristen is she doesn't really emote much. Well, she emotes plenty, but as far as her expression on the bike, she never really looks all that uncomfortable. Anna Russell, you found. Good job, Nathan. Looks like we're back with this front group. That you feel good? Did you get it?
Oh, there'll definitely be a ticket put in. Feel good? Yes. At this point, now that we have this, but
thank you for that hard work.
But we definitely need some feedback on that one. That's for sure. That should not be happening. It. Apologies to everybody on that. But we're back with the front group, and we've got Anna Russell in screen right now. We'll try and get some data up for everybody for you in just a moment. It does look like there's been a split though at this point. Let's try and catch everybody up, Dave, as to where things are at out on screen. There is a chase group, it looks like, at this point. We have gone through the first sprint point. We've gone over the KOM for the leg snapper at this point. And then it looks like there is a front group of about 20 riders that have split off with Annie Poland and Theron as well as Zanata here. It looks like on the chase with a it looks like M. Kuntz there leading things out from ride to try and bring things back together with a just outside the top 20 of the riders.
Good job by Abscape finesse rider Carly Zanata there to be in this group. So, yeah, I'll start doing some inventory here. It looks like Angela Roberts there, obviously. Cassandra Rush is there. We've been talking about this Optimum team out of Canada. They've been phenomenal. Maple syrup power in full effect, and you can see a whole bunch of Canadian flags. Serena Bishop is up there, the OTR rider. Jen Santoyo is in this group. Katrina Weiss is there, just kind of working through this group. That Whitney Post has made this group. Great job by Whitney. An attack going, though, now off. Oh, excuse me. It looks like these two groups are coming back together, which is something we saw. Again, they're finishing lap number 1. No points at this arch, but they will score at the finish. This is lap 1 of 4 that the ladies are completing. It's 4 laps, making about 35.2 kilometers of racing, but we are going to merge these two groups back together like the diner pouring the ketchup bottle into the other ketchup bottle. We now have one ketchup bottle, Nathan.
Jumping in quickly with Alana Brady that we do have on screen here for Virginia's Blue Ridge 2024 as she has made this front group. It does look like she was able to make that front group initially, so I think that the points for her have been scored fairly well so far. We'll try and get those up on board here in just a moment from what 2024 and Ride have been able to do. What's the representation? It looks like Royal City have also made this. That's one of the teams here that we haven't had an opportunity to really feature so far. But it does look like they've got some representation at this point with two of them in that yellow and black kit here. So a little bit punchier. Of course, perhaps Royal City Racing is going to have a little bit more representation on a course like this that doesn't tend to have as much separation, just a punch in the face over and over again.
I'd almost say, Nathan, that we have more Canadians in this field. I'll have to take a look than Americans at this point. That team, Guelph, the Royal City in Canada, right near Toronto there, Andrea Snyder, Dominika Jamnicki, Rachel Handy, Riley Sato, Sarah Frangos on that squad. I'm a big fan of what they're about. And that's impressive here. This peloton still together. Again, though, it won't be long until right around 13K in, they'll start the ascension, that critical 2K sector there that takes them from the bridge up to the top of the Zwift KOM, a recently added KOM out here on this World Championship circuit. Peloton is wide, even wider than it is long, Nathan. Rarely do you see that, and if anything tells me that it's tactical, that does.
100%. And as it's fairly all put together at this point, again, nobody really on the attack, as you can see here. Now, Optimum, that's the question, is where are things at for them? What kind of, they were the team that there's been a lot of hype around, is whether or not they were going to be able to challenge the likes of 2024 as well as Riot out here. ATP, where's the representation for them today? All I'm seeing, well, excuse me, there's 4 riders. I am seeing a good amount of representation. Rachel Lieberman is here, as you can see. Looks like Blueski from OTR has made it. So lots of jostling though here. There's so much jostling around this pack, hard to even identify. They're really just watching each other as there's no zero separation between any of them, constantly reorganizing, which usually means, Dave, there's almost nothing on the pedals at this point as they continually move around.
Yeah, I'm looking. I mean, for them, this is a Sunday cruise right now. And it always means, Nathan, that if it's going to be like this right now, when it goes ballistic, brace yourself. It's going to be bananas. So expect some very, very exciting racing to come. Alana Brady is the 2024. That's Virginia Blue Ridge that helps present that team. I see the Riot riders all kind of together actually pretty much all over the front of the race right now, Nathan. I'm going to be watching for Godby and Kulchinski to light another fuse here. I haven't actually seen Jackie Godby pop on my screen yet. I have her on my start list, and I have to imagine she's here. I just haven't laid eyes on her yet. But as you said, it's a big group. It's like watching popcorn popping.
Looks like 2024.
Godby's here, right?
I think so. I swear I saw her name early on in the race, but she is one of those athletes that tends to give us a live feed, and I did not get her in the live feed. So
I'm
also wondering if perhaps
she's the kind of athlete
today.
And she's the kind of athlete that has some big time life commitments outside of Zwift that could easily call her away at the last minute at the hospital. So, she's there. There she is. Great. It just popped for the first time for me. So Jackie Godby is in this group answering that question. Sorry, Nathan, to put you through that. You've got enough on your plate. Rather than me. So do you see Chris Yip's name there? Because it's a heartbreaker for this community. That's what's going on today. You're going to see a lot of Chris Yip with riders riding in remembrance of Chris. Nathan did a great job in our earlier broadcast today about highlighting what this community is about, and Chris was a big part of that. He got to live his dream, Nathan, through esports, and I think that's one of the things that I hope you realize is that you help facilitate that joy for people with Zwift Community Live, because Chris was so proud. Multiple people talked to me about that, how much he loved the broadcast, being a part of this community, and he made it to the World Championships, which was a huge goal of his. So I'm so happy he had that moment in his life. Everybody deserves to feel great like that.
100%. It's great to see the support from the community that we're seeing pour out, as it's been really, really heartwarming to see all of that. I mean, the community obviously really getting behind that, and Lawson being from Canada, maybe putting the name in there specifically from perhaps having some sort of connection. I wouldn't be surprised. I do know a lot of the Canadian cyclists at the upper echelon of that level do know each other one way or another. I had a lot of people reach out actually from
He was
the
super
Canada cycling
popular.
community that said, yeah, that they specifically knew Chris firsthand.
Yeah.
So
A life well lived, that's for sure. I'm so happy we crossed paths along the way. So that being said, Nathan, the hostilities are going to begin out here for these ladies now. This trip up, if you thought that first one was brutal, it never gets easier. Rachel Lieberman, for me, is a rider to watch here. She is up to the task, no doubt about it. I think now I see Therian moving up to the front now, but that is going to be, is it Christina Grossman attacking here now? It's some old school
the
fury
Riot
going on.
rider, I think it's Kuntz actually that's making a move. Theron's there from Optimum now
There
at
you
this
go.
point.
Good for her. This is one of the riders that's starting to emerge as a powerhouse on the Riot team. So watch out.
Yeah, I'm not
Starting
really
things
familiar
off
with
here.
Kuntz. This is and do believe she is a newer pickup from the Riot team at this point because I haven't seen her a whole lot until this season. Actually, with unless there's just a lot more aggressiveness from her, but this is quite the move to be going so early. I wonder if perhaps they're trying some sort of a tactic here from the Riot team to try and force a little bit of chase from some of the other riders.
One, Madeline Kuntz, the fact that we're talking this way about her, Nathan, no longer is she not that she was an unknown, but she certainly makes a statement here riding off the front at this point in the race. You cannot deny that there's talent here. So Riot is just spicing things up, but here we go. They're going to hit out now behind her, and now it goes full gas at this point. Watch these numbers, folks. They're going to be making close to 10 watts per kilo, if not over the top of that. There's one of the powerhouses, the big motor out of Detroit, Emily Ehrlich, up to the front. This is going to be Lawson leading things out. Oh, boy, the race is on now, Nathan.
Marion Lawson, as you can see on camera there, leading things out. Her teammate Kulchinski coming around, but it's going to be Jackie Godby at the last moment. Godby's going to be taking this down first place over the top. It is going to be Kulchinski chasing Godby down, as you can see here. Here's Kulchinski from her view, always with that steady up and out of the saddle cadence that you see from her. She gets over the top there with Ehrlich, her teammate, the full team almost of 2024 now, trying to bring Riot back within the fold as Kulchinski calms down onto this downhill. They still have the sprint up ahead of them here as Ehrlich and Kulchinski go to chase Godby.
Kulchinski looks like a cyborg right now. I mean, she is so focused. There's more esport knowledge in that brain than I would say pound for pound, ounce for ounce. She's one of the greatest riders esports has ever seen when you talk about Kulchinski, and this group is going to be way less than 20. I don't know that this completely comes back, Nathan. Very tough moment out here on lap number 2. So the thing for Kulchinski that's brilliant today is Emily Ehrlich, his big time there. Like, she's got someone riding shotgun with her today up in this front group, and it might be even more than just one teammate with her for Virginia Blue Ridge 2024. I see at least 2 on the screen. Riot has at least, well, I'm going to say 3 made this group for Riot. ATP is there. That's certainly got to be Rachel Lieberman, in my estimation. Christina Grossman made the move. Good job by Christina Grossman. Nathan, feel free to jump in at any time. I'm just trying to do some talent ID work right now up in this front group.
Yeah, and interesting enough, you see Ehrlich now going backwards, Dave. This may not stick. Looking at this here, David, like, I mean, this little bit of a break may stick as these riders may not be able to come back at this point. Lana Brady, Ehrlich, we're seeing Quinones. They're just barely going to get back on terms. But Dave, the moment that this happens, boom, we're going to see that a huge sprint is going to be opened up for the next sprint section up and out of the saddle here. Here comes Lawson.
This is
great to see Lawson. What a kick here from her. The youngster on this team here, new upstart, but now overtaken here by Grossman. Is Grossman going to take it down? No, it's going to be Optimum. Optimum with the big points here, Dave.
Yeah, great job, Optimum. But Riot gets 2 in the top 3. So this was a good one for Riot. The previous at that last QOM, I would have to say advantage goes to Virginia Blue Ridge. Now you see the counter attack coming. This could be very well timed by Kulchinski. This cuts against the grain. She's zigging when they like to zag, and this is going to be a whole new problem for the rest of it. So red alert. Kristen Kulchinski has attacked. It's early, but this has got the alarm bells ringing all over the place, Nathan. How you cannot deny that this is one of the best riders in the world right now.
Yeah, and that was an arrow power up directly after the sprint section. So the moment that the sprint was over, Kulchinski went. Alana Brady's at the front at 2.5 watts per kilogram. Really quickly going to go back to Quinones. They're doing 46 kilometers per hour, as you can see here. 44. Kulchinski's off the front at 45. She is going to start getting some distance here as they go uphill. 1% uphill gradient, and nobody willing to chase or maybe even able to chase as Kulchinski looks to try and ride away.
Yeah, and well, this is one thing that she's doing that's classic Kulchinski, is putting pressure on other teams to chase and helping her teammates like Emily Erlach out. They can sit back in the slipstream here. So this has a few benefits now. So when we're going to be heading out on lap number 3, we're just hitting the middle point of this race right now. So I apologize that we're not able to bring you all of the points as they score, because quite a few have been scored at this point. There's nearly 20,000 racers that take part in the ZRL. And at this point now in this A group, the teams will be watching it closely. There's fastest through segment and first across the line point. So it's not just a standard road race if you're joining us for the first time where they start and race to a finish line. It's much more complex than that. All of the riders are looking to pick up points at various spots along the way. And there's also some sprints. Of course, there are a lot of points at the finish line that the racers highly covet, but we've got a long way before we get there. We've got 2 more trips. So, Nathan, if you had to estimate, what would Kulchinski be looking for on her phone right now?
Pizza.
So she's timed it out. So if she figures if I order it right now, they should deliver right after my win.
Yep.
Is that the?
That was just the pizza. That was okay. I'm off the front. Time to get pizza. Game set and match. Now it's time for pizza. I'm pretty sure
it's funny because I bet you it's one of her teammates are getting encouragement from someone who's not on their Discord channel. Josh Lipka is the team director. He does a tremendous job with this squad. I really appreciate Josh as part of this community, and he's helped mentor Kristen and help her find her best self out here. And I would wonder. But look what she's sitting on right now, Nathan. She can do this until the cows come home, making 4.7 to 5.5 watts per kilo. This is basically where she lives, her comfort zone.
Look at this, Dave. Look at the speed differentiation. 44 kilometers per hour. Kristen's doing a solid,
and it's splitting the group.
Uphill. She's going uphill right now.
And she's splitting the group behind her, Nathan. That's how hard they're going. I mean, even Godby is realizing, all right, she gets back up to the front now. She probably would have rather been able to sit in the wheels for a little bit. She's been killing these sprints. But the reality is, Kristen Kulchinski, you have to recognize this. This is the standings that Nathan's bringing up now. Virginia Blue Ridge has been perfect so far. It's 2 wins for them, 2 seconds for Riot, 2/3 for Velo Optimum. It's pretty amazing, actually, because it's 2/4 for ATP Stingers. So the giants in this group have been very consistent. Then we can see that first tie there between Aeonian and OTR, both sitting on 31 points. It's been very, very close. It's been fun to watch. Absolutely stoked on the racing that we've had out here, and this is a classic throwdown that we've got going on right now. I want to mention, though, of course, Absgay Finesse there with 28 points, Lacole, the Wonder Women, sitting in 8th with 26 points, in Royal City East. I mean, they're in the mix. They're fighting here. There's no weak link in this group. So good job by all of these ladies as we're out here on the 3rd of 6 races for this 3rd season. It's actually the 9th season we've had in the history of the ZRL. The seasons are grouped into batches of 3, and this is a ride to remember already. Kristen Kulchinski, Nathan, has gone 17 seconds out at this point here.
Yeah, and they haven't even hit the uphill section. The question for me is, on that uphill section, she really needs to ramp the speed up as much as she can in these downhills. There she goes. She does so, and then hits back up in that 2% gradient. The downhills and the uphills are the main sections. Keeping it steady and a little bit higher or right where they're at as far as the watts per kilogram go, that needs to be happening for the flat sections, but it's the downhills and the uphills. You need to be watching the matching of the watts per kilograms or higher. Now, Kristen here, I am starting to see that she's starting to really press on the pedals a little bit. We're going to try and get another in cam here. I am taking a look, and it does look like for a moment there, a little bit of a struggle on the pedals for a second there to get it back over the top of 5 watts per kilogram. Now back to 4.3, 4.2. So now the reality of being off the front on a race at this level is going to start to kick in. Like, she still has a lap and a half, Dave. Lap and a half.
Yeah, The funny thing is, Nathan, through the last really, I would say it was in May of the pandemic year of 2020 that we first really picked up on Krista Kulchinski. She rarely makes mistakes out here. It's funny how you can see it looks like she's deeper in the pain cave. I mean, she's in the hurt box, no question, but she's still composed enough to be able to, yeah, and this is not a woman who's out of her element. She's out of her comfort zone, but that's where she lives is out of her comfort zone. The gap is, yeah. I mean, at this point now, I wouldn't bet against her winning this race. I really wouldn't. The problem is she's got some serious horsepower behind her, but she's blowing this race apart now.
Speaking of horsepower, Dave, interesting to see here. Was not expecting this from Sarah Bishop, actually, back in 32nd place with Kunz, Poland, and Bluski here. Couple of now this looks like an OTR pain train at this point. Was there perhaps did they go back in order to create some sort of a team time trial to chase this back? Because there's 4 OTRs here, and Bishop is one of the strongest riders amongst this OTR crew. Bluski as well, Poland. I mean, this is a big surprise for me. Bishop now heading to the front. Yeah, like what happened here that OTR, I have a feeling that there was a dropout or something where they were like, we need to get our women who are our danger women back involved in this race. And I think that's exactly what's going on here. I'm going to, afterwards, we got to see if we can get some sort of information about this, because this is a situation where I'm glad I wouldn't have even picked up on this unless Sarah had given us a cam here. I'm like, where is she at on course? I'm not seeing her. And bam, all of a sudden I go back and I see 4 OTRs together.
Very unique. They are so she's incredibly focused right now. Clearly haven't thrown in the towel. Again, this is the American Sarah Bishop that we're in with. I'm gonna have to do some research and figure out where in the US Sarah lives, but boy, does she look intensely focused right
Dave,
now.
the thing is like they're just real quickly, one last thing on that. She has the power. Like, I don't think she just threw down 5 watts per kilogram for like the entirety of that climb.
They're coming back.
I'm wondering what something happened. That's what I mean is like something
100%.
I don't know what it was, but wow.
If I had to go back and guess what the script was, exactly what you said. Someone has a power dropout. They come right back online, and the team responds by going back to get her. And it looks like it paid off for the most part, or is
6 seconds. I don't know. Ooh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. It's going to be close. It's going to be really close, because I have a feeling that behind here, or up ahead,
they're still not.
Are they
still
pushing?
spread out?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, they're not pushing, right? But I mean, this is going to be, we're in with Jen Santoyo here, or Alana Brady in the front group. They're not off the gas, but they're not on it right now. So yeah,
they're not going to get any help. They're not going to get any help from 2024, right? Because they got Kulchinski off the front, so they're definitely not going to be chasing on that front.
They're sitting in.
Yeah.
Right. No, they definitely are sitting in. You would expect that really it's going to be Optimum and Riot that are going to be the teams trying to take advantage of that. I have to admit, it's none of my business, but I am super curious what she's texting now out here. In all joking aside, it's not about pizzas. It's definitely, I have a feeling it's like, are you going to make it? You feeling all right? Probably some encouragement.
It's going to be about pizza. Just one of these times, and she's going to let us know, right? Like, just one of these times, it's going to be pizza. Oh, that's not James Barnes, just so you guys know. That's actually Kristen Kulchinski. How did that happen?
James was on with us earlier today.
That's really
another one of Kulchinski's great rides happening out here. That's for sure. I mean, some news for you. It's gone out to almost 40 seconds at this point. Kristen is dancing on the pedals here. This woman is really something else. There's no doubt about it. If there's going to be a year, you only get so many cracks at being the eSport world champion. Can you imagine, Nathan, an athlete that would be more overjoyed to hold that title and who's willing to do the work to earn it? I think
100%.
That's Kristen Kulchinski.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. And I mean, the way that she's climbing this, you can see the kind of force that has to go into the pedals on that 8% plus gradient here. I'm going to see if she comes over with a little bit of a punch. No, I think she really put a lot of dig into there. 185 beats per minute. Let's go back to her teammate, Lawson, now at this point. is now leading things up. This is the up and out of the saddle here from Lawson, her teammate, trying to take the points down, but it's actually going to be Roberts and Morrows over the top from Aonian. Anna Russell there now as well. Russell going to take over at the front, but no, her teammate Godby's actually going to be the one who's going to look to take down to second place.
And I think, Nathan, this is more than just a second place bid. I think Godby's now in full pursuit of Kulchinski. Let's watch and see what she does here. You'll know better than anyone when you watch these numbers. Does Godby carry on now, or does she wait for the pellet or the group to rejoin? Or is she now, she's attacking.
Ooh,
she's gone.
Yeah,
so
2
she's
seconds. This is a tough one, Dave. I mean, gets into the super tuck. It depends. What really depends here, I don't doubt that there's a little bit of a, okay, can I go? The decision, though, is going to be made more on how many riders behind get together and how much of a snowball steamroller effect they actually get here. And it looks that like snowball is going to be too much for her to get away solo.
Yeah, right, exactly. So this, I mean, Kulchinski certainly wouldn't attack on a downhill, right, for that exact reason. And I think that Godby, well, she's still going to dangle off of the front here, but right now it's almost a little scary, wasted energy, because I agree with you, Nathan. The physics of that peloton right behind her, it's hard to imagine. She's doing so much work to hold them off right now.
Love the avatar setup here. She's got these 3D
Tighten
glasses,
it up, huh?
Mixed with that Riot kit. So good. Gene here from
Funkadelic.
Optimum. I love this new team. They're absolutely awesome. And as they head into this next sprint point, Cassandra Rush is going to take over at the front. Here comes OTR.
OTR's back. Yeah, that's good for them. They did a great job of recovering. OTR all over the front of this group now. Mean Gene, I heard they call her. I love it. You're right. Optimum has been a great addition. They are the hot sauce that we needed. Here we go, though, Nathan. Some big points on the line here pretty soon. Power-ups left, right, and center.
Godby rested up for just a moment. Her teammate, Courtney, oh no, not her teammate. It's going to be Cassie Nelson, actually. But here comes Angela Roberts, always a powerhouse in the sprints. And she just rolls through at 4.3 watts per kilogram. Solid little kick from the Ionian rider. Is Godby going to come over the top? Nope. Now here, Dave, Kulchinski went last lap, right? At this moment right here, she kicked at 6 watts per kilogram.
Right after the sprint. It was a counterattack after the sprint. Right.
If we match everything up at this point, Dave, she's gained 11 seconds. Right? Like if you match it all up and it all plays out kind of the same way, she has gained 11 seconds and now needs to hold on to and extend that 11 seconds from here on out to the finish line. If she came to this point with 11 seconds, it's right on a knife's edge, right? Because from one lap from now, it's on a knife's edge if she wins.
I agree. I love that she tries. And if you're going to, use these races to get better, she's doing exactly that. You cannot dig deeper than you do in a race scenario. Nathan, as we set things up here now, we've got just over 10K of racing, one more trip over the infamous leg snapper. I wanted to take 15 seconds and give a shout out to a very special rider that we've got here today for Virginia Blue Ridge 2024. Stepping up today is Ruksar Habibzai. She's from Afghanistan out here racing today. It takes a lot of chutzpah to jump into this group, and she's showing it out there. So just wanted to that's a teammate. Oh, thanks, Nathan. There she is out there. So that's what heart looks like. That's what perseverance looks like, folks. Never give up. So keep it going, Ruksar.
Awesome to see. Very, very cool coming out of Afghanistan. Awesome representation here, and love what 2024 is doing with this rider. Pushing at 157 beats per minute right now, 141 watts.
We have a few Afghanistani women in America now that have embraced cycling. Afsana Narazi is another one that is going to the Miller School. And it's just really nice to see the cycling community here in the States embracing these women. Back to the action in front of us, because it looks like OTR is attacking out of the group. Nathan, they got something up their sleeve.
Yeah, Moros just goes right on through. Was that a catch actually that got made? And then
maybe that was just follow through. Yeah, roll through there. Actually, we've seen that in these groups. When the peloton sits up, they really sit up. I think they felt like they had a situation where they'd done enough work to kind of right the ship there for a while.
Moving back to this chase group, this is just outside the top 20. As you can see, a little
They
bit of an
might
arrow
catch.
power up being used by an
They,
Aeonian rider. That's going to be Woods Turner making them way
they
to
are
the
they are
front.
going to catch. Actually, the speed difference here. This has been the story all day on this course. Groups coming back. It doesn't surprise me because they hit hard on the leg snapper, and then after the sprint that comes a bit after that leg snapper, then everything settles down again before we start the process back up.
It looks like
One
Brady
more lap.
here. This is a nice little kick here coming from Lana Brady. It looks like here is the work from the 2024 rider. This is an interesting. Is this from the? I think this is from the living room. It looks like here where Brady's riding, and nice little Zwift setup here, keeping things. This is definitely Wisconsin. I think she's coming out of Wisconsin. The dark. It's definitely dark here. She's a
Does
little
it
bit
feel?
dark.
It feels Wisconsin-y.
Yes, yes, it's definitely
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
That's is it? Oh, that's funny. I was wondering. It certainly does look like it's cool and dark, a pain cave, but it also looks like it's quite well
Pain Cave of the North, Dave.
decorated.
Pain
Right,
Cave of the
exactly.
North is what it is.
Very
ATP
focused
off
as
the
well.
front a little bit here, it looks like, with 2.5 watts per kilogram, but calming right on down. Kulchinski's got 25 seconds, Dave. She's faded to 4.5 watts per kilogram. The question for the viewers and ourselves is Kulchinski going to stick off the front at 25 seconds? At this point, one lap ago, she's continuing on. She's pushing still 5.5 watts per kilogram or so, Dave. I
I
think
think
she is going to
so.
make this happen.
Yeah, and this is again, you're looking at one of the greatest in the sport, um, and for her, I believe that she really knows what she can do and has so much experience. Is she a level 60 Zwifter? One of the probably very few that we have racing. I mean, just very few folks on the planet are level 60, but I'm going to get she almost has to be with the amount she's ridden on Zwift over the last 4 years. Um, it
Yeah, I'd be surprised if she wasn't 60 yet. I can actually look right
actually, I guess
now, I
I
believe.
could just click on this and check here and see. Is level 60.
Yes,
60. As a matter
has
of fact, I don't
been.
know of any other racers that are level 60 Zwifters. So that really basically that if you don't know your Zwift, that level speaks to the amount of time that you've put in out here, amount of
We had a little
kilos
bit of a
you've put.
competition maybe in-house here, and there is definitely an in-house level 60 rider that I
Uh,
wasn't able
uh,
to keep up with.
a rider named Gabriella.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I'm almost there. I was almost there, but Gabriella definitely put in more hours than me over the fall, so was able to hit level 60. I think in the last week or so, but I don't know when
Oh,
Kristen
good for
hit it.
her. Well, pass on my congratulations. That's a big deal.
Well, it
That
is. I
really
mean,
is.
level 60. I mean, I still haven't
We
hit
can
level
joke all we
60.
want.
I ride plenty of Zwift, and I mean, it takes quite a while. And I get double XP as well for
Right.
every single K I get double XP from so much saved up. So 34
Yeah.
seconds though, Dave. That's the conversation right now. Will she be able to hold on to that 34 seconds?
Can,
She is so
I
far ahead at
guess.
this point. She has riders she could lap within her sight. I mean, that's
Right.
wow.
Yeah, and to be honest, with this being a team sport, this is obviously significant for Virginia Blue Ridge, but it doesn't wrap up the win or guarantee the win. Her teammates still have plenty of work to do back in that group because the other squads will. They're going to. I think at this point the ship has sailed. The SS Kulchinski has. In the Atlantic now on its way to England, but they back in that group, obviously, there's so many points that this, as I said, in no way guarantees a team win. As they say in Manhattan, it doesn't hoit, but doesn't make a guarantee.
Quick look. We do have some points that are coming through. I think things are a little bit quieter at this time of day. And look at this though, Dave. Riot. I mean, it's a points game. And Godby and Roberts are currently leading things out. Lawson is there with more points, actually. Interesting enough, as Kulchinski drops that arrow power up we just saw as she heads downhill at 50 kilometers per hour. But Grossman, good friend of Kulchinski's, riding for a rival team at 32 points. Now, Kulchinski's going to take FAL over the next two, and with the outright win, I think this board is going to change up a ton by the end of the race. But at the current moment, Dave, I'm seeing a lot of ride on that board. Then we do see the next will be Aeonian. I got two, and then we are seeing 2024 with four here, Dave. How do you think it's stacking up? This is pretty close between Riot and 2024, it looks like to me.
Normally, I'm happy to just unhinge a wild guess, but on that one, that's very hard to say. Kulchinski, all things being even, should move up to, let's see. Well, yeah,
20
actually,
points.
it's
So 20
relatively likely
points,
Jackie Godby
right?
holds. Yeah, Jackie should hold on to the top point getter out there, most likely, even with this incredible ride from Kulchinski. With Kulchinski slotting in easily in second. It's going to be close either way, but you can see Grossman and Russell, they're doing a good job of supporting Godby, but it might even be a little bit better scenario right now, knowing that Kulchinski's going to rocket up this chart. Lawson has got a lot of points for them, Ehrlich and Brady. So this going to be very, very close.
And as we may be getting another update here over the top of the climb, we'll really be able to start to tell a story. So we've got, I don't think any more FTS are going to be scored. We've got 10 over the top of the Innsbruck ring leg snapper. Then we've got another 10 through the sprint point. And then we've got big finish points that are going to be double points across there. So it'd be interesting, Dave, how, I'm not sure, well, is it double points across, or is it just, I'm going to have to double check what the point structure is across the finish line. But with what we just saw there, Dave, I'm not sure that Kulchinski is going to be the top point scorer with the way that Godby's
No, I
been
don't
riding.
think so.
I think Godby, if Godby's able to take second across everything and the finish line,
Exactly.
she may be the one.
No, I think I don't know that there's any path really to imagine Kulchinski getting the most points, but she will get the second most. And then, yeah, it's going to come down to those two riders, talking about Godby for Riot and Kulchinski for Virginia Blue Ridge, their teammates, whether their team wins out here after today. And boy, that's what this league has always been about, is not just individual riders finding success like Kulchinski, and that's great, and that's happening, but riders back in the second, not the first chase group, but the second chase group could very well be where this race is decided today. That's what the point structure was meant to do, and it really does work. Kulchinski's got
seconds, bigger. Dave. She's going to be over the top of this before they even start the bottom of this climb.
Yeah, I think that this is really a good look at a rider who's coming into the best form of her life and has made a huge commitment to esports and the World Championships that are happening on March 5th. So what are we, 5-ish weeks away from, maybe closer to 6 weeks away from the World Championships now? But this is impressive here. This is a good test. But back to that group now, it looks like a free-for-all here on the leg snapper.
This is what the back end of almost falling off the back looks like on the leg snapper. But I think this time around, Alana Brady is not going to be letting that happen. Look at this as she rolls through. What a kick here from Brady. Nicely done. Last time through, she was dropped off the first pack. But this time through, Dave, Brady is going to be right there and making it just about now. Those two Riot riders there, it looks like Aeonian and a Riot rider there. It's going to be Megan Rathwell and Rossignol, though, from Aeonian. Brady just trying to get back make it right on terms. I think she is up into 62 kilometers per hour. Needs to use that super tuck. I think as there comes a little bit of help there. Exactly. Optimum with Champagne coming on through. And this is going to roll right up, I think, Dave.
Yeah, wow, this is impressive. If you see, we've been in with Brady today. Her form on the bike is really impressive. Boy, when she's going to have quite a year in 2023. Going back now, so that's a lot of Brady that we're looking at. Her avatar. This is going to be Lawson that we're in screen with, her teammate, who's just holding on out here. It looks like a great day for Virginia Blue Ridge. The team has reinforced themselves, and I think for Krista Kulchinski, she's got to be so happy to see the way her teammates are racing.
100%. And looking through, Dave, a little bit surprised actually. I thought Mary was going to be able to make this front group. She was riding so incredibly strong actually earlier on, but as we come into the finish line momentarily, We're going to hit this sprint, and then it's going to be just a little over 2K, I think, or so to the line, maybe 3 at this point. So this is the last sprint point. Kulchinski's already gone through it here, and now this is the last grab at the points. We may see some counterattacks over the top. Alana Brady actually 1 second off the back. I thought she was going to get back on terms here. Here is Lawson, actually, is in and amongst this lead group, so she did make it. My mistake. Ehrlich here trying to challenge, but it's going to be Godby and Roberts for the go at this last sprint point right to the line. Roberts doesn't have the arrow power up, so it's going to be Godby taking those down. So many big points so far for Jackie Godby. I mean, she is really keeping Riot in this race today.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, she's the big-time hitter out here. She's picking up the most points, and that's how we keep score in this race. So as impressive as the ride from Kristen Kulchinski, and Kristen is doing all she can with what she has, Jackie Godby has been the dominant monster out here today as she picks up another second place. So every single time that they're distributing points, Jackie Godby's at the front of the line.
Look at how many Riot riders are here as well, Dave. This is a big one for Riot. They might be winning this one today. This is the rival we've been talking about. And we have also seen Optimum very involved. But the reality is when we did bring in those point structures, you know, Dave, it did look like they were a little bit off when it came down to the points at the end of the day. We'll have to keep on double checking those to see how they ended up playing out. But so far, Dave, it really is Riot and the domination.
I can't argue with anything you say, Nathan. I will say Optimum, though, is very, very close to cracking that code to being the third of the big three teams. But right now, as we look at it, it does look like this Kulchinski, she's going to take the outright win. But I agree with you. I think Riot had their day today. The consistency of the team and Godby, the big star, that looks like the winning recipe. Although we'll have to wait until all the points come in.
The points are starting to update there, Dave. We'll take a look at it in a moment. We will have to wait for that because it's starting to get close. Godby at 90, Roberts at 70, Kulchinski currently at 43, Lawson at 39. Then we've got Jean jumping in there from Optimum. Grossman is in there at 32, Ehrlich at 29. So almost matching there, Dave. We've got almost a match for match when it comes right down all the way down the lineup.
Yeah, but it kind of gives you the feeling that Riot is in a little bit better spot, doesn't it? When you look at it,
a little bit, but just a few points.
Just a little,
just a few points.
Yeah, but that's what it takes in this league. That's for sure. You can't ask for more than this. This monster now as Kulchinski's going to finish strong, an all-out effort. Look at that beast mode from Kristen Kulchinski. I expect to hear the doorbell ring in the background in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So she'll have this time perfectly. It's pizza time. Congratulations, KK. Back to the sprint, Nathan, as her teammate Lawson.
Right to the line for Lawson. Maybe. No, Godby. Godby's going to come through. That's huge. Huge for Riot there. And I think Riot went 2-3. Grossman was there as well, Dave. Oh, man. What an effort right to the line.
Yeah, I tell you, we highlighted this race for a reason. You know, teams like Optimum on their way up, but some of the strongest racing you see week in, week out happens with these women. They put on another show out here this week at Innsbruck Ring. Third of 6 races of the season. Kulchinski looks like she was on fire today. Alana Brady, that's her teammate. She had an incredible ride. Alana Brady making big strides, but I think that's one of the captains, one of the leaders in esports there. Anna Russell looks like she's on Discord talking with the team. They're probably trying to calculate points, and I think they're seeing it go in their favor. That's going to be Lawson.
Loving to see all the communication coming through, the way that they're interacting with each other out on screen here.
Yeah, Nathan, while we have a moment, I think one of the coolest things that happened with Zwift, and they talked about it very, very early, was the community that came together. It's somewhat counterintuitive that a virtual cycling experience would build one of the strongest communities that I've ever seen or been involved in. But I think it's even fair to say that the Zwift community that we have rivals any of the communities in real life that I've ever seen, and it transfers or cross-pollinates into real life. And it has for the last couple of years. So big thank you to all of the riders that are a part of this world.
Jumping back in with
Sarah
Bishop. Yeah, great to have her finishing up here, 35th place. 6 points for OTR. Not the usual ride that I would expect from Sarah here. I'm a little bit surprised to see her off the back but she is mainly a FTP, threshold type rider. Maybe the punch was a little bit too much for her when it came to down to it. We do have friends of the live stream for sure. I'm seeing McCudden here. I'm seeing Marsoles, and then Whitney Post is in here for Absolute Finesse actually. And I believe Whitney is live streaming tonight over on Twitch. She did just get her setup all ready to go, and I saw her lifting like 140-pound sets today on top of racing back to back. So this is going to be an interesting night for her. I wonder if she's going to have the sprint come to the line.
She's such a cool woman. There's no doubt that another person who's really embraced the lifestyle of fun and health. And I'm lucky enough to get to see her at Belgian waffle rides out there during the season. I hope that I see her in early March in Arizona. All these riders have such great fitness. One of the residual benefits of Zwifting so much at such a high level is you can go out and kick some serious butt when you're out in real life. Marsoles is one of the riders on this Optimum team that's brought a lot of fun to the league.
And here comes Absolute Finesse. Katrina Weiss is there as well for a kick to the line. This is for your top 40 places. Looks like Weiss is going to make it happen. One last kick from Post. Is she going to be able to grab a couple of places here? No, just fading there, it looks like. Well, not fading, coming on strong at the end, but not the timing that she was looking for. As Katrina Weiss takes things down. Let's see if we can start getting some results populating here. Dave, it's been America's Women's East. This is one of the best, one of the absolute best that we could cover. I absolutely love it. And earlier today, Dave, speak to that reality that we're coming into World Championships. I mean, we're watching a lot of these ladies have the possibility of winning World Championships this year.
Yeah, Nathan, we talked about that during the broadcast earlier today about how between the women racing in the EMEA Central and this group racing in America East, there's a better than 50-50 chance that our world champion is in one of those two races. And there's two women in particular that really stand out, Kulchinski and Godby on the American team in this race that we just had. Like Monali Keller raced earlier today for Aeonian, and she would be on the Canadian team. But so it's mostly the American and Canadian squads that we're looking at, but there's some really good signs coming out of our athletes right now on both sides of that border here. But it's a really fun time. March 5th, that World Championship will be coming. However, this format that we're using in ZRL by WTRL, it's a little bit different. It's more like the Grand Prix format that we do on Fridays, which Kulchinski has got a lot of experience with throughout this season. So we'll see if that pays off for her there. And we obviously can't. Look at what Zoe Langham did today, Nathan, over in EMEA Central. She would have been going toe-to-toe with Kulchinski and Godby out here today, that's for sure.
100%. Let's take a quick look at the results, and then we'll give our goodbyes here for the night. But here's how things ended up playing out. When it came to the riders across the line, Kulchinski winning by 19 seconds, Dave. A lot of American flags at the top there, but I'm seeing Riot with some good placing. Did it get matched enough there by Virginia's Blue Ridge? Interesting.
Boy, that 6th and 7th, though, not bad. But, yeah, unfortunately, just by a thumbnail sketch, if I'm Virginia Blue Ridge, I'm thinking Riot probably has this one. End of the day, though, look at these numbers. Kulchinski putting on a clinic, 4.3 watts per kilo over a 50-minute run there on a mostly flat course, to tell you the truth. So that's Kristen in full effect. Jackie Godby for second today, Christina Grossman for third, Catherine Monks for fourth, Michelle the Mean Machine Jean there in fifth, Ravello Optimum. That's a big result there. Congratulations, Michelle. Emily Ehrlich in sixth, Marion Lawson for seventh, Renate Blushk in eighth, Rachel Lieberman ninth today, and Megan Rathwell of Riot making your top 10. If you're in that group of women, you're a legend.
Interesting to see. We're going to see here. I don't know, Dave. Oh.
Is it VBR?
Oh, my gosh. This is so close, Dave. It's right there. It's right there. Now, this is preliminary. What I'm seeing so far, preliminary, everybody. I'm going to reload this one more time.
You've got me on the edge of my seat right now. I am so, Nathan, you're very good at this, building the suspense, because now I don't know from the way that you're talking. Will it be Virginia Blue Ridge with some cheeky bonus points picked up along the
There's a
way?
big
The thing
smile
is,
over here. There's a big smile over here right now.
is that
So,
woman smiling? If that's the case, wow.
so that's what it looks like after 3 races. 59 points, preliminary results so far here.
They
Finish line
they
points
tied.
tied at 282, but the FAL, Dave, it's the FAL. Look at the FAL. First across the line, 260 to 205. FTS, 121 to 73 is what I'm seeing right now.
So
So,
something's not quite right.
you think so?
Oh no, maybe
Because look,
actually.
FAL, FTS, if we line these up all the way down.
Right. Go back to the previous screen if you can.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Oh, that's results. Sorry. That's
Okay,
right.
there
There
we
you go.
go. So after 3 races, oh, I see. Gotcha. Correct. Wow.
So now what we got heating up is, we've got the rivalry again. It's
So,
the same
so what this means
situation.
is that, but this is telling me that Riot won today.
Oh, is that right? Really?
Yes, because that's the first time that Virginia Blue Ridge doesn't pick up.
Ah, thank
They
you,
get their
thank you,
first
thank
second
you.
at this
Gotcha,
point.
gotcha, gotcha.
And
Okay. My mistake, because
no,
they were up
I know it's
by
definitely
2
harder.
points. They were up by 2 points. So they had gained a point. They gained a point.
Right.
My mistake.
Right, which makes it a 1 point. No, believe me, Nathan, you've done an absolutely amazing job today. That I maybe made one slight catch right there. Uh, but yeah, it's just going to be the story of the season. And don't forget Velo Optimum. And did you notice, Nathan, as well, if you look at the watts per kilo, Michelle Jean was the second rider based on watts per kilo. So as she figures out, and to be fair, Kulchinski and Godby have a huge head start. I don't know Michelle's history with Zwifting, but as far as esports goes, I think that she's probably on the front end of that learning curve. And she's just going to get better and better as she becomes more efficient because the racing in esports is different than anything you've done before. And you just really have to learn the technique.
100%. Well, it's been really cool to see this rivalry still heating up. I really like that. I thought that Virginia Blue Ridge 2024 took it down, but I was mistaken there. And actually, it only makes the story better, right, Dave? Because
Yeah, I agree.
now Riot is right there. They brought a point back when it came down to the points situation out here today. And on a punchier course, Godby showing what she's got. And Dave, I think Kulchinski had to do what she did to keep to keep things fairly even and on their toes as best as she possibly could because
I agree.
Riot just has a very dominant sprint game, don't they?
They do, and I agree with you. Sometimes you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And what Kulchinski did was the right play, right time, right place. It did hopefully. So really, actually, I think what's interesting here, now that I analyze this, and this is what I love about esports, is that it's so legit at this point. That I think that they didn't take the bait from Kulchinski talking about Riot. Maybe the experience of someone like Anna Russell said, just let her go, because if we burn ourselves out trying to chase her back, we're vulnerable for a counterattack from the very strong VVR team. So they didn't take the bait. It was a trap to chase Kulchinski. And Kristen is so strong. They knew that. We all know that. So Kristen rides away. She does everything she can, but she didn't fool them.
100%. Yeah. Well, good calls there.
You follow
Dave.
my
Yeah,
my
yeah,
process there?
totally get what you're saying. Totally getting because they played their game that they knew they needed to play out, and that has Anna Russell written all over it. I mean, to be
Sure
honest,
does.
like
There was a
that.
whiteboard being filled out at some point, and she looked and saw the points were there. It's a lot like an election in America. You just look for the route to the victory and figure out where those points are and how we get them. We don't need to win this race. We don't need to catch Kulchinski. We need to get points.
And they did exactly that, Dave. Actually, to be honest, I think the whiteboard analogy and how she's really leading that team right alongside, I think, Jen Reel and making sure that the calls are made to say, okay, these points, those points. And they've got the points boards up and live in front of them. When I was racing ZRL with OMG, we'd get call outs after each banner. We would say, here's the points, here's what we've got, here's what we still got to do, how much are we ahead by. We'd have all of that ready to go. And I think that's exactly what Riot did out there today. They said, okay, Kulchinski, she's going to steal all these points from us, but as long as we take the points we need to still win today, we're going to make that happen. Now, there's other teams out there, Dave, that I was a little bit surprised. Like, what happened with OTR today? We're going to try and find out for next week. We'll try and find out maybe for some, interviews this next week and, get some information out there over on the ZCL pages. If you haven't noticed, we've been a lot more active on our socials. So make sure to head on over to Instagram as well as Twitter. We're posting there a couple of times a week. Maybe we'll bring up on the wrap this week as well, have a chat with Anna about how exactly this worked out, that they were able to take this down. Because so far this season, Virginia's Bluebirds 2024 have been undefeated. That just changed today. We also still have the Optimum crew. I'm hoping that we can get them on, or at least get some sort of interviews with them, see where they're coming from, and see what they're thinking in order to try and take down a couple of races yet this year, because they're right there on the edge, Dave, but they haven't been able to figure it out yet.
Yeah, well, and they're going to. I'll go ahead, and it sounds foreboding, right? But I have every reason in the world to believe in these Canadian powerhouses, and it just makes everybody better. Steel sharpens steel, and that's exactly what the ZRL is witnessing today.
100%. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate all of the viewership out there, as well as the riders, everybody who helps make the productions happen. We really appreciate it. And we will be back at you next week, Tuesday. We are off for Grand Prix, actually, for a little while.
Yeah.
We're really looking forward to World Championships, as well as a couple of exhibition broadcasts that will be happening before then. And then, obviously, the wrap. So we'll see you next week, Tuesday, for more of the Zwift Racing League for race number 4 in round 3 of this season, as well as the wrap on Thursday. As always, you can catch us as well over on our socials, and go ahead and check out all of our streamers over on Twitch, twitch.tv. Go ahead and check out the Zwift category. Lots of people still streaming the rest of their Zwift Racing League experience, as well as their training every day. From Dave, Towle, and myself, we really appreciate all of you, and we'll see you out on Zwift soon enough. Right on.